All right, let's get right into it. We are about to crack the code on what might just be the easiest, most delicious vegan chocolate cake you can possibly imagine. And you want to know the best part? I'm willing to bet you have everything you need to make it sitting in your kitchen right now. And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. The folks over at Sweet Simple Vegan call this one a must-bake. They're promising a cake that's not just, good for a vegan cake, but an incredible cake, full stop. We're talking extra moist, tender, tall, and super fluffy. But wait a minute. A perfect cake with no eggs and no butter? I mean, that sounds like it breaks all the rules of baking, right? How on earth do you get that amazing texture, that perfect rise, without those classic ingredients? Well, that question leads us straight to what I like to call the vegan cake myth. This idea that to get great results with vegan baking, you need complicated methods or weird, inaccessible ingredients. We are gonna bust that myth wide open today. So you're probably picturing things like flax eggs or specialty gums, all these complicated techniques. But the reality? Nope. It all comes down to a few simple pantry staples, the kind of stuff you definitely already have. So what are these magical ingredients? Let's pull back the curtain. And honestly, you're about to be a little underwhelmed, in the best way possible. Okay, now what's so cool about this is just how consistent it is. We're looking at two different sources here, Sweet Simple Vegan and the Baking Fairy. And just look at that overlap. Flour, sugar, cocoa, oil, non-dairy milk, it's all completely standard stuff. The only tiny differences are coffee versus water and apple cider vinegar versus plain white vinegar. The core formula, it's exactly the same. So you can really just break this down into a super simple formula. You've got your dry ingredients for the structure, the leaveners for that lift, the wet stuff and the fat for moisture, and then you have this last piece, the activator. And that is where all the magic really happens. So let's talk about that magic ingredient, vinegar. Yeah, just plain old vinegar. This isn't some weird specialty item. It's a humble pantry staple. And it's the key that unlocks this whole recipe through some really simple, really cool science. And this explains it perfectly. It's that classic acid-base reaction you probably learned about in school. The vinegar, that's our acid, reacts with the baking soda, our base, and boom, you get a fizz of carbon dioxide gas. All those little bubbles get trapped in the batter, and when it hits the heat of the oven, they expand and give you that unbelievably light and fluffy cake. No eggs needed. And just to give you a picture of how powerful this reaction really is, the Baking Fairy mentions that when she uses apple cider vinegar, which can be a little extra potent, her cakes sometimes pour right over the sides, like science fair volcano style. I mean, how cool is that? It's a reminder that this isn't just baking, it's chemistry in your kitchen. Okay, so the ingredients are simple, the science is simple, which means the method must be the complicated part, right? Wrong. Let's take a look. I love this quote from the Baking Fairy. She says this cake comes together in just a few minutes. This is not some all-day baking project. We're talking about a simple, super fast process that gives you a ridiculously rich and decadent result with almost no effort. And here it is, the proof. Just look at this method. It's basically a dump cake. You mix your dry stuff in one bowl, your wet stuff in another, pour the wet into the dry, give it a quick whisk, and that's it. You're done. No creaming butter and sugar, no folding anything gently, just 4 simple, straightforward steps. It doesn't get easier than that. So we have this simple, scientifically sound, and seriously delicious base recipe. But here's where it gets really, really cool. This isn't just one cake recipe. Oh no, it's a foundation for an entire world of amazing chocolate desserts. Just look at this list. We pulled these ideas from both of our sources. This exact same batter can become a classic layer cake, an easy sheet cake for a crowd, individual cupcakes, a fancy bundt cake. You can even use it as a base for things like vegan Hostess cupcakes or a vegan Sachertort. The only thing that limits you is the kind of pan you've got and what kind of frosting you're in the mood for. So, what have we really learned here? The big secret to making a fantastic vegan chocolate cake, well, it isn't a secret at all. It's not some mystery hidden in an old cookbook. It's just simple chemistry that you can count on every single time. So now you have the key. You have the blueprint to unlock dozens of amazing desserts. The only real question left is, with all these incredible possibilities right at your fingertips, what are you going to bake first?